As I walked down the aisle to marry a man I did not love, the church doors suddenly slammed open. My first love stood there, drenched from the rain, eyes burning with desperation. "Don't do this," he pleaded. My groom chuckled, "You're too late." The guests gasped as my father stood and roared, "Remove this man at once." But then, my mother whispered, "Wait. Look at the letter in his hand." My fingers trembled as I took it, and my entire world shifted. I'm not even sure how to begin this, but here goes. This happened 3 years ago. It still plays in my mind like a slow-motion movie I never wanted to star in. If you've ever done something just because it felt like the right thing to do, even when your gut screamed at you to stop, you'll understand this. So let me start where it all came crashing down, my wedding day. The venue was St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. Grand. Traditional. Full of history. My parents pushed for it hard, especially my dad, who wanted a proper wedding for his only daughter. It wasn't about me, it was about appearances. Family status. Respectability. All that crap. I was marrying Richard. On paper, he was perfect. Lawyer. Well-dressed. Came from money. Knew how to talk to people. He knew how to handle my dad. My mom liked that he pulled out chairs and said ma'am to older women. My friends said, "He's stable, you'll never have to worry about money again." But I didn't love him. I knew that. I'd known it for months. But I ignored the feeling. I told myself I was being dramatic, emotional, childish. I'd already said yes to the proposal. The invitations were sent. The dress was bought. My dad kept mentioning how much he'd already spent. "Cold feet happen," my mom said when I brought up my doubts a week before. "You'll grow to love him." And so, there I was. Wedding day. Makeup done, dress zipped, hair pinned into some kind of painful architecture. My heart wasn't racing because I was nervous. It was heavy because it knew something was wrong. I was holding my father's arm, waiting for the doors to open. The organist started the wedding march. The entire cathedral stood up. Then, it happened. The massive church doors slammed open. Hard. Everyone turned. There was a loud gasp from someone in the front row. And there he was. Alex. My first love. My biggest heartbreak. The guy I had loved with every single part of me from ages 17 to 22. The one who left for San Francisco after college, chasing some startup dream. We hadn't talked in years. I didn't even know if he still lived in the country. But there he was. Standing in the doorway. Soaked from the rain outside. His black shirt stuck to his chest. His hands clenched. His eyes locked onto mine like no one else was in that building. "Don't do this," he said. Loud. Clear. Desperate. You could hear a pin drop. Richard, standing next to the priest at the altar, actually laughed. Like a smug, cocky little laugh. "You're too late," he said, smiling like he already won. And I swear to you, my dad lost it. He stood up from his front row seat and shouted, "Remove this man. Now." Some guests started murmuring. Others were just staring, mouths open. But then, my mom stood up too. She grabbed my dad's arm and said something I'll never forget. "Wait, look at the letter in his hand." I hadn't even noticed, but Alex was holding a folded, wet envelope. Clutched so tightly, it was crushed in his fist. He stepped forward slowly and held it out to me. My body moved on its own. I let go of my dad's arm. Walked right up to Alex in front of everyone. I took the letter. My fingers were shaking so badly I could barely open it. The paper was damp. The ink smudged in places. But I could still read every single word. It was a letter from Richard. To another woman. It was dated 3 weeks ago. He wrote things like, "I can't wait to be done with this wedding crap. I have to go through with it for appearances. She'll have her money, I'll have mine, and then we'll be free. Keep the apartment in LA ready. There were details. Private things. Too specific to fake. It wasn't just cheating. He had a whole plan to use me. I stood there, in front of 200 people, wedding dress clinging to me, veil half crooked, staring at the proof that the man I was supposed to marry was sleeping with someone else, and lying to everyone about it. I looked at Richard. His face was pale. He didn't deny it. Not once. That was the worst part. He didn't even try. I don't know how long I stood there. Everything went quiet. Then Alex said, "I tried to stay away. I really did. But I couldn't let you walk into this blind. You deserve to know. You always deserved better." My mom was crying. My dad looked like he might actually hit someone. Richard just stared at the floor. I hadn't said a single word yet. Not one. But something inside me cracked open. And in that moment, I knew. So, I'm still standing there, wedding dress heavy on my body like it weighed 100 pounds, holding a soggy letter that blew up everything I thought I knew. The silence in the cathedral was deafening. Then someone coughed. Another guest muttered, "Jesus Christ." My Aunt Patty whispered something to my cousin that made her gasp. I looked at Richard again. Still nothing. Not a single word. That silence said more than anything he could have said. He wasn't sorry. He was just caught. The priest shifted uncomfortably. "Perhaps we should step aside and—" "No," I said. "We're not going anywhere." I turned to the guests. "Everyone here deserves to know the truth. I'm not marrying this man." More gasps. One woman dropped her purse. I looked at Alex. "How did you get this?" He looked at Richard, then back at me. "He sent it to her by accident. The envelope had her name, but your address. I guess he got sloppy." "You opened my mail?" Richard finally spoke, voice low. Alex's jaw tensed. "You sent it to her by mistake, man. That's not opening mail, that's saving someone's life." I stepped back, still gripping the letter like it could disappear. My knees were shaking, but I wasn't about to faint. No. I was too pissed for that. That's when Richard's mother stood up. And I swear, my jaw almost hit the floor. She walked down the aisle in heels too high for her age, eyes burning. But not at me. At her own son. "You absolute disgrace," she hissed at him. "I told you not to play games with this. You could have told her. Ended it. But no, you wanted to keep both. Like your father." There it was. I didn't know any of that. Not about his dad. Not about this weird family pattern of lying to women. Richard's face turned red. "Sit down, Mom." "No," she snapped. "You don't get to tell anyone what to do today." The cathedral wasn't just quiet anymore, it was tense. The kind of tense where you don't even breathe because you don't want to miss what happens next. Then I heard a noise. Someone running. I turned just in time to see my younger brother, Jamie, storming up the aisle. He was furious. "You're lucky I don't knock your teeth out," he said to Richard. "You don't deserve her. You never did." I told her. He wasn't wrong. He did tell me. Months ago. I brushed it off. "He's too smooth," Jamie had said. "I don't trust guys who always have the perfect answer." Now I understood what he meant. Richard tried to look calm. "This is a misunderstanding, shut up." I screamed. The sound of my voice echoing through the cathedral scared even me. My mom was crying again. My dad was holding on to her like she might fall over. Alex was just standing there, hands in fists, jaw tight, like he wanted to do something but didn't know what. And then, because life wasn't already enough of a soap opera, a woman from the back row stood up. Blonde. Mid-30s. Wearing a green dress. I didn't know her. Nobody knew her. But she walked straight down the aisle like she belonged there and said, "I'm the other woman." And I swear the oxygen left the room. She looked straight at Richard. "I told you this would blow up," she said. "I begged you to be honest. I didn't even want you to marry her." She turned to me. "I'm not proud of any of this. But I didn't know he was going through with the wedding. He told me it was just for show. A legal partnership, basically. That you knew. That you were okay with it." I couldn't speak. I couldn't even blink. That was the lie he told her. That I knew? That I was okay with a fake marriage? I looked back at Richard. He looked small now. Like a child who broke a toy and didn't want to admit it. But I wasn't done. "I gave up so much for you," I said to him. "I let go of someone I actually loved. I ignored every warning sign. I traded everything I believed in to look good on paper." I turned to Alex again. He hadn't moved. He was just watching. Letting me take the lead. Like he always used to. "What am I supposed to do now?" I asked, more to myself than anyone else. And that's when the priest dropped his Bible. No joke. It hit the stone floor with a loud thud. Like even God was like, "Yeah, this is getting wild." I looked around the cathedral. At the guests. At the floral arrangements. At the candles. At the altar. Everything meant to celebrate love. And it all felt like a lie. And then, my phone buzzed. Even through all that chaos, my damn phone buzzed in my dress pocket. It was a text. From an unknown number. It said, "If you walk away, I'll ruin your family." So yeah, my phone buzzes. I look down at the screen, and I see that message, "If you walk away, I'll ruin your family." It's from a number I don't recognize. No name. Just that one sentence. I stare at it for a few seconds. My hands are shaking again, but this time it's not nerves. It's rage. I look up and make eye contact with Richard. And I know. The way his eyes widen for just a second too long. The flicker of panic he tries to hide. It was him. I hold up the phone. "You really just sent this to me?" He doesn't respond. Doesn't deny it. Just blinks. "You're threatening my family now?" People start murmuring again. My uncle literally stood up and said, "What the hell is happening here?" Richard finally speaks, but not to me. To Alex. "Did you tell her everything?" he asks. Alex looks confused. "What are you talking about? You didn't tell her, did you?" Richard says again. Louder. Like he wants everyone to hear. I step back. "Tell me what?" Alex looks at me. And something shifts in his face. Pain. Real pain. The kind you don't fake. "I didn't think it mattered anymore," he says quietly. "Say it," I whisper. He hesitates. Then, when I left for San Francisco, it wasn't just for the startup. I was scared. I'd gotten into something complicated. I swallow hard. "What kind of complicated?" He looks at Richard again. And then at Richard's mother. She closes her eyes like she knows exactly what's coming. "Your father," Alex says, "offered me money to leave town. To leave you." I blink. "What?" "He said if I really loved you, I'd let you have the life you deserved. With someone from your world. Not some broke kid with startup dreams." I shake my head. "No. My dad wouldn't," Alex cuts me off. "He offered me 50 grand. Cash. Said it was a wedding gift for your future, not mine. But only if I disappeared. People are looking at my dad now. He's stone-faced. Doesn't say a word." "You took it?" I ask Alex. "No," he says quickly. "God, no. But I also didn't tell you." I didn't want you to have to choose between me and your family. I feel like the floor is tilting. Everything I thought I knew about the past is shifting. So I turn to my dad. Is that true? My mom grabs his hand like she's begging him to lie. But he doesn't. He just nods. One slow nod. I was trying to protect you, he says. He had no future. He had nothing to offer you. I loved him, I say. That was enough. He doesn't respond. Just clenches his jaw. And Richard? That bastard starts laughing again. Guess we both had backup plans, huh, he says. At least I'm honest about who I am. Then Alex walks forward. Past me. Straight up to Richard. And punches him. Hard. The sound echoes off the walls. People scream. Someone yells, "Call security." Richard stumbles back, holding his face. Blood dripping from his nose. I step between them. Stop. All of you. Just stop. I'm breathing hard. My makeup is probably ruined. My dress is torn near the bottom. My entire wedding has become a public war zone. But I'm still standing. Barely. And just when I think we've hit the limit, the blonde woman in the green dress? The other woman? She speaks up again. There's more, she says, voice shaking. I didn't know if I should say anything but. I'm pregnant. Everyone freezes. Even Richard. She's looking at me now, not him. I found out 2 days ago, she says. I haven't even told him yet. But I'm not keeping it secret. Not anymore. I look at Richard. His mouth is open, but nothing's coming out. Dead silence again. Until my mom whispers, "Dear God," I look around the church. The flowers. The guests. The priest. The candles. My brother holding my bouquet. My father shaking with rage. My mother crying in a pew. My ex, bloody-nosed. My first love, trembling. A stranger carrying my ex-fiancé's child. And me. The bride. No longer walking toward a life she didn't want, but standing in the middle of its wreckage. And then, my phone buzzes again. A new message. Same unknown number. This one says, "You have no idea who you're messing with. Walk away. Or watch what happens next." So there I was, standing in a storm of ruined expectations. My wedding dress soaked with tears, rain, and truth. One message after another from an anonymous number, and now this woman says she's pregnant with my almost husband's child. Everyone's eyes were on me. I read the second message again, "You have no idea who you're messing with. Walk away. Or watch what happens next." And that's when I lost it. I turned to Richard. "Is this you? Are you texting me these threats?" He didn't answer right away. His hand was still on his face, wiping away blood from Alex's punch. He looked like a broken man, but I knew better, he was just exposed. There's a difference. "I don't know what you're talking about," he muttered, looking away. "Say it louder, Richard." I screamed. "Tell everyone here you didn't send these texts." Still nothing. "Say it." And then, finally, he exploded. "You don't get to act like the victim here." He snapped. "You were going to marry me, knowing damn well you were still hung up on him." He pointed at Alex. "You think you're so innocent? You hesitated every step of the way." I could feel it. I froze. That was low, but not wrong. "I stayed," I said quietly. "I stayed even when I didn't want to, because I thought I had to. Because I thought maybe love didn't matter as much as loyalty. And that was my mistake." "You led me on," he sneered. "You let me spend thousands on this wedding knowing you didn't love me. You lied for months." I shouted. "You cheated, planned to abandon me, and threatened my family." Don't talk to me about money or loyalty. You all think I'm the villain, he barked. But he pointed at the blonde woman, knew what this was. We were just killing time. She stepped forward, shaking. Don't you dare pretend I knew about your fiancé. You said the engagement was fake. You said, enough, my father yelled. Everyone turned. You've embarrassed my daughter long enough, he said, walking slowly toward Richard. And if that message was from you, I swear to God, it wasn't, came a voice from the back. A man stepped forward. Tall. Gray suit. I didn't recognize him. He walked calmly up the aisle, holding up a phone. I sent the message, he said. But Richard didn't tell me to. Your father did. The world went silent. Everyone looked at my dad. I turned. What? The man in the suit walked up to me. Your father hired me months ago to look into Alex and ensure he wouldn't come back into the picture. I tracked his location. I intercepted texts. I was told to protect the family investment. And when it looked like you were going to walk away, your father told me to pressure you. Quietly. I looked at my dad. His face. I've never seen him look old before. But now he looked ancient. Is it true? I asked him. He didn't speak. My mom started crying again. Loud, this time. She slapped her hand over her mouth and sat back down hard in the pew. I was trying to keep you safe, my dad whispered. To keep things stable. You don't understand how fragile everything is. Your mother's health, our finances, the business deals riding on this marriage, so you hired someone to blackmail me into staying with a man who cheated on me and is having a baby with someone else? I screamed. Do you hear yourself? He didn't respond. He just looked at the floor. I turned to the guests. Everyone. This wedding is over. There's nothing to celebrate here. Then I walked out. Alone. Not with Richard. Not with Alex. Not with my parents. Just me. The church cleared out slowly. Some guests whispered to each other. A few came up to me outside, my friend Jessica hugged me tight. My cousin Daniel muttered, honestly, this was better than any Netflix drama. Alex found me leaning against a black SUV in the parking lot. He didn't say anything at first. Just stood next to me. I'm sorry, he finally said. For leaving you back then. For not fighting harder. I nodded, still staring at the rain pooling around my shoes. I'm not asking for anything, he added. I just wanted you to know the truth. That's all. I don't know what to do now, I said. He nodded. Then don't do anything. Not today. And he left. Just like that. Not with me. Not chasing me. Just giving me space. In the weeks that followed, the fallout was messy. Richard's firm dropped him. His parents were publicly humiliated. The blonde woman, her name is Danielle, decided to keep the baby and wanted nothing to do with him. My dad tried to justify what he did, but my trust in him is broken. I moved out of the city. Got an apartment in Brooklyn. Took a leave from work. My mom calls every day. She's been different. Softer. Sadder. Alex and I talked a few times. We got coffee. It was nice. Familiar. But I told him I needed time. He understood. There's no fairy tale ending here. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I'm not broken. Not anymore. The biggest lesson? Sometimes the people who say they love you the most are the ones who will betray you the deepest. Because they think they know what's best. But love isn't supposed to feel like a business deal. And I will never again confuse control with care. I don't know what's next. Maybe I'll meet someone new. Maybe I'll be alone for a while. Maybe Alex and I will find our way back. But for now, I'm just breathing. And for the first time in a long time. That's enough.